Every day that you come to work, you want to know that you're with good people. Gene Taylor, I had great confidence, would hire a good person to be the head coach, and then Coach Klieman, as I've seen, has done a great job of hiring good men, of course, good coaches on this staff. So to have the opportunity to come to this program with people like that has really is an opportunity that I could not pass up.
People seem to have gotten a kick out of your social media presence. Can you just tell us a little bit about your philosophy there and why you seem to be so outgoing on it?
Well, I just think it's important that if you're going to be recruiting play, first of all, the fan part of it. Listen, I try to do what I can to interact with the fans because they come for a reason. They come to the stadium for a reason. They support you for a reason. And if you shut them out, and the only time you deal with them is when they're in the stands and they're cheering for you, well, I don't think that's right. I think we can have fun with our fans year round. That's one. And they seem to like that social media stuff, so I give the people what they want. But when it comes to recruiting, the kids live on social media today. My sons live on social media. And if you're going to recruit them, if you're going to establish relationships with them, and that's what recruiting is about relationships, then I think you should, as a coach, as a 200-year-old coach, as I am, you ought to take the time to step into their world and to learn more about who they are and what they do and what's important to them. And that's what I do with our recruits. But I think that's also the commitment that I make to be engaged with our current players enough to be willing to come outside myself to learn what makes them happy, what makes them sad, what they're all into.
Ben, how would you explain a season as an analyst at a very successful defense like that? Kind of what was that experience like for you?
When I had the opportunity to go there, my wife, actually, some of my friends said, you're going to have to be an analyst. Oh, man, that's not going to be fun at all. And I talked to my wife about that, and she said, some people would say that you doing that was like a year in exile. But honestly, I went there and I helped. I would game plan. I would help Coach Shoop by game planning the next week's opponent. And then I would present that to him. Some things he'd use, some things he'd trash. Right. But I really had an opportunity to grow and learn. And so I also had an opportunity to help a defense be the number one defense in the country in many categories. So my wife said, there could be some people who would think you've been in exile, but really you just expanded your territory. And so that's the way I looked at it. I went going into it, I was committed to learning as much as I could. Yes, I've had the opportunity to be a defensive coordinator and coach many years in a lot of different places, but I just wanted to be a sponge for that 1 year, and I learned a tremendous amount.
A lot has been made about your presence just in terms of recruiting the state of Texas and how important that is to fans, to this program. How important do you think the state of Texas is to recruiting?
Well, I think that, there are players all over, and I've had the opportunity here in this recruiting season to go to Louisiana, to go to California, Texas, not Kansas as much, Oklahoma, and what that is continues to confirm for me is that there are players everywhere. And yes, me being from Texas, I'd say, yeah, Texas. But that part of it for me is about the relationships I have. Over the years, I've recruited Texas, Dallas, and Houston, San Antonio quite a bit. And I have tremendous relationships in those places. But I'm always looking to grow. When I go to the convention with the coaches, I'm running for office. Right, I continue to try to stretch my reach. I continue to try to grow my network of high school coaches, college coaches, because not only in the recruiting arena, but in the football consumption of knowledge area, as many people as I can know, the more I get to grow, the more I get to get scouting reports on opponents, get to have relationships for when players want to transfer from different schools, people call, so I think Texas is a very important part of what we do in recruiting. but I like having the opportunity to go all over the country to share the knowledge of this program, to share the knowledge of this staff, and to gather great players.
What type of a player do you look for when you go out and hit the trail?
Well, I think, kids are players who love football, who want to be the best that they can be, and I'm not talking about defensive backs. I'm just talking players, because if you get a guy on your team who loves football, who wants to be the best he can be, who is I've had some places where we've strategically searched out kids who have won, state champions, and you always want to bring that winning attitude. So that's another component, is guys who are winners. Now, you're not going to be able to always recruit the state champions, but guys who have winning attitudes. When I go into school, I'm talking to the lunch lady, I'm talking to the registrar, I'm talking to the counselor, because I want to know who is this young man. When I have an opportunity to talk to his parents or his guardians, I want to know what makes him tick. What's the worst things about him? What really gets on your nerves? What are the things that you really like about him? Because when he's in our program, those things are going to come out. I had a young man I was recruiting, and the parents said, well, he has a really bad anger problem. He gets mad. We just can't control him. Okay, let's put that on the notes because whatever you're dealing with as his parents, we're going to be dealing with. So I really try to investigate, and it's not about him being 6'5" and 240 pounds and running a 4.3 40. We're going to be dealing with him on a daily basis on all kinds of issues with all kinds of things, and I want to know, what makes him tick as best as I can.
I know the time here has been really short, but just what are your initial impressions of Manhattan, of K-State, and the community here?
Well, because I've been here at least 4 times before as an opponent, I'm really excited about being in this program. I said it earlier, my wife probably a little bit more than me, because this has been the wives' trip on some of the times we've come here before, and my wife has had more fun cheering for K-State and memorizing the K-State cheers. And so, sometimes I question her, hey, man, who did you come here to see, after the game? So she's excited to be here. And I have 3 sons, and actually the older 2 are off to college now, and I have my 7th grader, so he'll be excited to be in the stands going wild. So initially, we're excited as we can be, and that's about the fans, that's about the tradition of winning, that's about the staff, and that's about our current players.